connecting Central Texas. This is 25 News.
Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. A busy night for Chief Meteorologist Matt Hines and the rest of the 25 weather team. Todd, several tornadoes touching down across Central Texas.
Yeah, you can see two of them right there on your screen. The video on your left shows a tornado forming in Florence near Stillman Valley Road. The video on the right shows one already on the ground, shot by Darren Hossman, one of our loyal viewers. Thankfully, that tornado not hitting a populated area, but there are injuries and damage outside of Salado tonight.
And now let's turn to Chief Meteorologist Matt Hines for a look at our weather.
And we are looking at a severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Robertson and southern Leon counties. That will go here till 10:45. And still a tornado warning for northeastern Madison County. So let's go to these cells down here. Waco, Temple, Killeen, we're done. So you can rest easy for tonight. But our last gasp with this supercell, this one started in Bell County with tornado warnings. It's still producing tornado warnings. A long track supercell here making its way across northern Madison County, approaching you folks in the Midway area. So this is moving east of I-45. This is where we do have the circulation and the potential for a tornado here. The one behind it's a little bit elevated, so the tornado threat is not as high, but this one's been throwing down a lot of hail now east of Franklin. That will continue to push across southern parts of Leon County, moving closer to the I-45 corridor south of Centerville. So I think this stays south of the Centerville area. New severe thunderstorm warning associated with this for northwestern Madison County. So that's associated with the cell number 2 back behind it. This is this cell here. Let's go in and look at the velocity products here. Just to the west of Midway, here's Midway right here. OSR coming down toward the Midway area. And it looks like the main circulation is right across the Leon and Madison County lines. It's right there on the line, but the official warning is for Madison County. This will continue to push to the east and probably get out of here in the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. So mainly over very rural sections of far southeastern Leon and far northern Madison counties. Midway, you'll be close to this, so make sure you take your tornado precautions there. And then farther back to the west, we don't have a major circulation with this. As you can see, a lot of green here, but we do have the potential for hail with this thunderstorm southeast of Easterly. That will continue to work its way into southern parts of Leon County. So folks around Wealthy, that's going to be close to you, and Normandy, that's right there on the county line of Madison and Leon. That will continue to work its way off to the east. This one's elevated, not a tornado producer. I know we got the hook here and it looks very ominous, but it's a little bit elevated, mainly been a hail producer as that continues to the east, and this goes until 10:45 with a severe thunderstorm warning there. But that's going to be it for tonight. Once this gets out of here, we are done out of there. So let's go to Bell County, where they are having a live press conference right now about the tornadoes earlier.
20 more calls that came in within the next few minutes. Reports were of a tornado originating in northern Williamson County near County Road 228 and State Highway 195, crossing into Bell County along 2843. West of Cedar Valley, it traveled approximately 7 miles on the ground. There were multiple agencies that responded to the initial calls, including multiple Bell County agencies, agencies from Williamson County, McClendon County, the Texas Department of Emergency Management, Texas Department of Public Safety, and others all responded to the calls. We also have assets in the air, helicopters assisting land assets right now to ensure that we have everyone accounted for along the path of the tornado. At last report, we have 23 injuries reported. 12 have been transported to area hospitals. One, I'm being told, is in critical condition. The other 11 were either not transported or treated and released at the hospital. We have debris clearing that will be going on throughout the evening. Power lines, debris, trees are all scattered across roadways and properties, and so that activity will occur throughout the night. But activities are winding down through the night. There have been multiple walk-arounds and walkthroughs across the properties. We believe we have everybody accounted for, but they're double and triple checking that this evening. Be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Have you been able to make it out there yourself yet this evening?
I did.
What's your first gut reaction of just seeing the devastation out there?
Yeah, lots and lots of debris, really in the path of the tornado, which again extends several miles. there's not much left. Trees, large trees uprooted, overturned, stripped, buildings really reduced to rubble at many locations. Again, power lines, power poles scattered all over the place. It's a pretty devastating look.
This happened also quick. I mean, was Bell County expecting this today? Was there any preparation into this, or did it all just kind of happen?
Well, I think it popped up fairly quickly, as most people do this time of the year. I think they watch the media and the TV stations and the weather and their social media or wherever they're getting their weather forecast from. But we did have some weather forecasting indicating there were some strong storms moving into the area. I think that may have helped prevent further damage and maybe perhaps loss of life that could have occurred. Again, the extent of the damage is significant, and at least at this time, not having any reported fatalities is in and of itself amazing.
Going off the significant damage and the many injuries you said, is there anything Bell County residents can do that have been impacted by the storm? Is there anything the county is kind of setting up for those that have lost their home? Any advice for those that are looking for just stableness tonight?
Yes, if they have, again, we've been on the ground out there since the first call came in. We have set up or are prepared to set up an emergency shelter if that's needed. So far, that's not been needed. The residents and the owners that have been affected out there, property owners, have indicated that it's not required at this time. So we'll continue to work with them in the days ahead for any further assistance that they might need.
Sir, can you just tell us a little bit about...
All right, you heard right there from Bell County Judge David Blackburn. Sounds like about 23 people injured, about a dozen in the hospital, one critical tonight. I know we've got Andrew Lemparski,
Yes.
right?
Yes, he is in Salado at a storm shelter. Andrew?
Todd and I'm here in Salado at the United Methodist Church, which is currently open as a shelter to anyone who's experienced damage to their homes. I'm joined here by Raleigh Correa, Precinct 2 Constable here in Bell County. Now, no one's here right now, but you were originally expecting up to 15 people, right?
Yeah, that's correct. We were at the scene over there at Buttermilk Creek, and I was talking to Major Perry Moose, and he said that Raleigh, we've got a lot of destruction here, so it's possible we might need to set up a shelter, for some people over there. So he said, could you go do that and get that set up? So we came over here to the Methodist Church. Well, we've used the shelter here before, and we set it up for 15. But then as the time was going on, he said more and more people were going with their family or with other friends and staying overnight. So it's really, we're just kind of just standing by in case there's somebody that doesn't have electricity or anything else that could still come to this church.
What kind of damage have you seen? What kind of damage have you heard about in the area?
Well, Buttermilk Creek is where as far as I went after when the tornado hit, but it looked pretty bad. I mean, I'm surprised, and I'm not sure, but I'm surprised of the injuries. It wasn't as bad, or death, whatever. It was pretty devastating. I've been to some tornadoes, but that was pretty bad. I mean, people are lucky to be alive.
And for anyone who's still looking for shelter tonight, this will remain open?
This will remain open all night long and into the next days or whatever. If they need a place to stay, we'll be glad to help them.
So again, here at the Salado United Methodist Church, just down the road, our 25 News reporter Jarrell Baker is out taking a look at this damage. Jarrell, what are you seeing out there?
Andrew, I'm here off of FM 28 and 43, Cedarville Road, and as you walk these roadways, you can still see some damage, and even as I tilt my camera down, you can see some of those trees that are down, and I'm standing in front of a down power line, and that's just some of the damage that's just in this area. Now, as I walked early in the streets where a lot of these crews were here trying to work the area and work the scenes, you could see people with flashlights going through their homes, seeing what they can salvage, because some of those homes were literally ripped from off of the foundation. And we also had several trees that were in the area and even some tanks that were down here on the ground that had burst. And I was talking with Judge Blackburn earlier when he was in this area, and he gave his first update of the night, reporting, saying that several people were injured.
People injured that we know of. We have assets from Bell County, from Williamson County, from McLennan County, and from Texas A&M Forestry Service and the Texas Department of Emergency Management on the ground and in the air. We have already done one sweep of the path of the tornado.
Now, at that time, Blackburn said that he didn't know the extent of those victims that were injured, but he said that they're still looking for the areas. Now, right now, crews are starting to wrap up here. They'll work the scene a little bit more for a few more hours tonight, but they'll be back bright and early in the morning to keep assessing all the damage here in the area. Now, they're asking people who are nearby, please don't come look and go through the roadways because it's still a dangerous scene. Live in Florence, Terrell Baker, 25 News.
All right, as we take a look at storm reports across the area, it has been a very active day, especially in Bell County, where a tornado moved out of the Florence area, and this is the one that moved towards Salado and then took a jaunt up to the north and missed Salado, at least the biggest portion of Salado's population, off toward the northwest. But again, it went along the county road here and just really sliced up some of those houses there, and just unfortunate to hear all the injuries that occurred with that tornado as it moved through. We will be down there tomorrow assessing this damage. On the National Weather Service, just talked with them. They will be sending an assessment team there tomorrow, early to late morning. So we will have the assessment on what kind of tornado and the damage that it did occur, and an EF rating with that. Also had a tornado eastern Bell County. This is about 10 miles east of Temple. There on Highway 53. That made its way off to the east, and then numerous hail reports in Temple, in Belton, golf ball size hail, hen egg size hail. Salado, we had up to softball size hail, and I'm sure a lot of damage to cars and rooftops there, maybe some broken windows as well. And then as you head back toward Killeen, we saw quite a bit of that hail damage as well. Farther to the north, a tornado reported. This got it all started in Coryell County, south of Gatesville. This is where the fire was. And then we had a tornado there for today, and numerous reports of that with video. And then in McLennan County, you were really spared. Thankfully, Waco really didn't report much in the way of anything significant. But Southern Falls down into Robertson County, we did see hail reports here from Rosebud down to north of Cameron and then off to the east. So it's been a very active day. We still have some active warnings in effect, and we'll continue to track this throughout the evening until it's done.
All right, Matt, thank you. Coming up, it's been a week of miracles at McLean Children's Hospital.
It sure has. Tonight we're celebrating Children's Hospital Week. Next, with a story of a Central Texas family paying it forward. All right, we'll continue to track the weather in just a moment, but first we want to let everyone know it is Children's Hospital Week, and 25 News is proudly shining a light on miracles right here in Central Texas.
For the parents of a 5-year-old battling kidney cancer, they're now paying it forward. They say the doctors and a furry friend at McLean Children's Medical Center saved her life.
Elliot Hill has overcome more before kindergarten than most kids do in a lifetime. In 2019, her parents found a large lump on her abdomen, so they took her to the doctor.
My gut instinct was there's something that's very wrong.
Jeanette Hill's motherly instincts were right. After multiple tests, doctors diagnosed the 3-year-old with kidney cancer.
And that's when we found out that it was stage 4. It had already progressed and spread into her lungs.
Wilms tumors are the most common type of kidney cancer in children. Like in Elliot's case, most children don't have any symptoms.
She wasn't feeling any pain before diagnosis. Then she goes through surgery, she wakes up, and she feels pain, and she doesn't understand why.
After surgery, the Hills said Elliot wouldn't talk to anyone. That is until a team from the hospital brought in a therapy dog.
Lorenzo comes in, and as soon as he came in, her face lit up.
Demeanor, everything just changed for her.
She couldn't sit up because she had this huge incision, but she was laying in bed, and she immediately turned to him, and she like kind of patted the bed, and she was like, up, up. And we both looked at each other and we're like, okay, can he just stay here?
Because of that experience, the Hills bought Elliot a dog. They're now training Moose to do therapy work in hopes he can help other kids in Elliot's shoes. The Hills said they couldn't have gone through the scariest time in their lives without McLean's.
We don't know what we would have done, honestly. Like, yes, there are other hospitals, but we knew that we weren't going to get the same level of care that we were going to get at McLean's.
Elliot currently undergoes scans every 3 months, and while she won't have to do them as often in the future, those scans will continue until she's 14. If you'd like to support the miracle workers at McLean Children's, pull out your phone right there, scan that QR code on your screen. It'll take you to a donation page partnered with 25 News, giving back all week long. Well, it has been a wild night for storms and weather.
Yeah, you could say that again. After the break, Chief Meteorologist Matt Hines is breaking down the very latest.
All right, we still have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings to go before we're done here, and these are going to be in southern Leon County and then over to the southwest of Crockett. This one has been the prolific hail maker and tornado producer. It is finally not tornadic anymore, and it has moved east of the Trinity River. That is not our problem anymore, so we'll go back to the west and show you here across Leon County. Looks like we're going to be seeing this one again. It's been a prolific hailer. It does look ominous with that hook echo, but we do have the potential for at least $half size hail, maybe slightly larger with this core, as this one's just been trailing this lead cell and watching it. So here's I-45 coming out of Madisonville. This is going to produce probably near Leona here of some up to golf ball size hail as that continues to make its way off toward the east, mainly on the north side of the county line of Madison and Leon where it comes together. So we are going to see that push across I-45 here in the next 15 to 20 minutes and then eventually across the southeastern part of Leon County. It's going to stay south of you folks in Centerville, so I don't think that will affect you. But again, a severe thunderstorm warning, $half golf ball size hail still possible with this thunderstorm. And again, we're not seeing any low level rotation with this as of right now. So that's why these are severe thunderstorm warnings and they're not tornado warnings. Hopefully this continues to push out and gets out of the way so we can all have a more enjoyable night out there. Let's broaden our view and show you that that's it. Once that gets out of here, we're all quiet. Waco, Temple, Killeen, we can sleep good tonight over toward Gatesville and anywhere west of I-35, you're fine. East of I-35, with the exception of Leon County and Madison, we are okay. But we did have quite a few storms earlier, and especially across parts of Coryell County and into Bell County, where we have had at least 3 confirmations of tornadoes here, and all video confirmed, so we know that. But we're going to get the ratings on them. This one's probably not going to be rated since it was out over open country on Fort Hood. This one will get the attention of the National Weather Service in Fort Worth tomorrow, as they will be sending a survey team into southern Bell County to investigate how strong that tornado was as that made its way through. And then we had the one across eastern Bell County, east of Temple, about 10 miles, and that will again be assessed as well. But it's this one that was near Salado, especially west of town, where we saw quite a bit of damage. We've had Jarrell Baker there, and he's been watching this throughout the evening hours. And as we pop this up, see a lot of emergency vehicles still on the scene as of right now. And there's been a lot of tree and power line damage. You can see a tank there. He was saying that was on fire earlier, now is out. But again, numerous trees down. There's been numerous structures coming from the judge at the top of the show. Again, over 20 injuries, 12 are hospitalized, one's in critical condition. No fatalities so far being reported with this. That is good news. But again, we've had numerous reports of injuries with this, as this did go across a pretty populated neighborhood right here with houses that sit on 2 and 3 acre lots. And we do have, again, that made its way on the west side of Salado. So that's why we are going to be seeing lots of folks watching that as we get into tomorrow. So a lot to do for tomorrow for homework and everything like that to make sure that we figure out exactly what happened, go over the radar data and everything like that. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. Let's take a quick look at the 10-day forecast out there, and it does appear that we are going to be seeing at least some clearing as we make our way into tomorrow. 90 degrees on Wednesday, maybe a couple showers and storms in the morning hours as a cold front rolls through. So in the morning about 6, 7 o'clock, can't rule out a rumble of thunder. That doesn't look severe though. Then it's 90 degrees by Wednesday afternoon, 80 on Thursday. On Friday, we're looking at 83 degrees for a high temperature, and it looks like it'll be quiet Thursday and Friday as well. Then we get to your Easter weekend, maybe an isolated storm Saturday. Best chance is probably north and east of us. Sunday, front will be in the area, so that could be a little closer. 30% chance for a few evening thunderstorms on Easter Sunday. We'll continue to track that. Maybe Monday as well, and high temperatures next week remaining in the 80s.
All right, Matt, thank you. Can police stop a driverless car? And if so, what happens?
Yeah, it's a good question. And it actually happened in California. And Well, you're going to want to watch this coming up after the break.
All right, we're still tracking thunderstorms tonight. I know we teased a package for you. We're going to show that for you tomorrow night when things are a little bit quieter across the area. As we take a look at our 25 radar, still have a severe thunderstorm warning south of you folks in Centerville. This one's still going to produce some sizable hail, up to $50, maybe up to golf ball size hail as it continues to work its way closer to I-45. This is going to stay right on the Madison and Leon County line. So again, passing south of Centerville, the one that produced the tornadoes and all the large hail, that is now out of our area and pushing off to the east. So that is moving away from the region. And as you can see, this is going to be it for the remainder of tonight. Things are going to allow to be quiet down, and that's definitely some good news. So once this gets out of here, it is quiet. Tomorrow, maybe a couple of morning thunderstorms will be possible, but that's going to be about it. Let's take a look at the 10-day forecast showing that temperatures are going to be around 90 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Could be a couple more thunderstorms in the morning hours. Not expected to be severe. Josh will get you through that in the morning. 90 degrees there. 80 on Thursday as we get more of an east-southeast wind in here. And then Friday, for Good Friday on into your Easter weekend, we will have those temperatures into the 80s for you. 20% chance of an isolated storm on Saturday. Maybe slightly better chances late Easter Sunday, but I still think we're getting the Easter egg hunts in here. This will be just some isolated to scattered activity. We'll track any severe weather potential Sunday into Monday. And then looks like temperatures stay into the 80s. I want to bring Todd and Naya back in here. And I know we've been tracking this. I want to thank the newsroom for what they did tonight. I want to thank everyone out there for trusting us with your coverage, with our coverage out here. And let's go ahead and look at what we've been looking at Bell County as well, guys.
Yeah, the Jarrell Baker's been down there for a couple of hours now. This is just outside of Salado where they've seen pretty extensive damage. We know that close to 24 people were hurt. There's about a dozen in the hospital tonight. One is critically injured. You can see some of these homes and barns and structures that were ripped apart by these tornadoes. There also is extensive tree damage in that area. It's really just been kind of some scary moments for folks down there.
Yeah, he also mentioned there were down power lines as well, so just a lot of damage.
Yeah, and certainly tomorrow that's going to be something the National Weather Service will be down there tracking that, trying to figure out just how strong that was, right, Matt?
Yeah, we're going to have to take the radar data, and then you got to look, and you have to look at when the structures were built, what kind of structure it was. There's a lot that goes into it. It's like a book that thick, so we'll be down there tomorrow tracking that, and hopefully, again, we had 23 injured. Hopefully everyone will be okay in that. So our thoughts and prayers are definitely with those folks tonight.
For sure. Well, Jimmy Kimmel's up next. Good Morning Texas on the air tomorrow at 5 a.m.
Thanks for being with us. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.